Hello, everyone. I'm Elisa Clavello, Director of Strategy and Marketing at ALTR, where I lead our strategic direction with a strong focus on building meaningful partnership and cultivating long-term client relationships. My background is in communication and branding, and for the past 8 years, I've specialized in wine market positioning, supporting Italian wineries as they enter the US market, helping them strengthen and differentiate their presence stateside. At Alter, I am bringing that wine-focused perspective in our work as we introduce our flavor-first technology to the industry. Our goal is to empower winemakers to expand their portfolios without compromising the integrity, the identity, or the craftsmanship of their wines. And I am honored to be part of this Innovi event and to contribute to the conversation on how innovation can open new pathways for the future of wine and Catalonian winemakers. Thank you so much.
Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a fantastic day with all the sessions that you're in. I'm excited and honored to be part of this year virtually, and hopefully next year we will be doing it in person. I'm Richard Schatzberger. I'm the CEO and founder of ALTR. Today, we're going to take you through a little bit about kind of how we see the market and tell you about our technology and how we could potentially get involved together in the future. And then we'll wrap that up with a tasting of some of the products that have been through our technology. I don't come from the wine world. I have surrounded myself with experts in the wine world who I'll introduce in a moment. I come from the technology world. I help create new spaces using the most advanced technology so that consumers can have better experiences in their lives that are kind of make them smile, make them happier, and make them healthier. I've been at the birth of the modern cell phone at Motorola. I've been at the birth of modern AI with things like Siri. And now I'm turning my attention to the wine industry. How do we extend, enhance, and grow this industry together with a deep collaboration between technology, nature, craft, and marketing? And this is why I'm so excited to be in front of a great group of people such as yourselves that have done this in the past. And as we move into this new era of wine, what can we do together to create this new category of low and no wines at the level that we want to create, of quality that we want to create, at the scale that we all want to create together? But let me tell you about Alta. We are a precision flavor first alcohol removal technology. We were born a few years ago and are now moving into our commercialization phase. So this is a fantastic time for us all to start talking. So, what does the market look like? How do we see this market? We saw a trend a number of years ago where people were moving away from sugar in sodas, and diet came along and changed that industry. We see the same kind of effect happening in the alcohol industry now, and we actually hope and expect the same kind of figures in that space with this new no-low category. In the soda world, 1/4 of soda is diet, and that brings choice to a market space. We see that shift happening now in the alcohol industry. Right now, we're sitting in a binary world. There are two spaces that are existing in this world. One is this fantastic and wonderful don't drink market. That's a fantastic, growing $13 billion market globally and very exciting, very near and dear to my heart. I started this company because I stopped drinking alcohol and missed out on what was fantastic about the ritual and the flavor profiles of alcoholic drinks. And that took me out of society. That was why I started this company, was really to kind of remove two things from the stigma of drinking less, because I decided to drink less, and also to remove the alcohol molecule. And that is what we're seeing consumers shifting towards, and we're very excited and to be part of that don't drink category. However, as you all know, the full strength market is much, much bigger. It is the alcohol industry globally is $1.7 trillion, and they are being left out of this new space. We think there's a new shift, though, that is happening in the middle. That next shift is giving people full choice to choose exactly how much alcohol they want to consume, whether that be on a Wednesday night because they have a big meeting the next day, whether that's because they've stopped drinking alcohol, or whether that's because they want to spend more time with their friends. We think choice is ultimately the new market where everybody has full transparency and full choice in exactly how much alcohol they want to consume while keeping the core of the ritual and the human connection that things like bottles of wine bring to the world. But we're seeing a shift, and you've all seen this, you all know this, you all have seen all the stats. We're in a world where we're diverging. Nature is increasing the amount of alcohol in wines, and consumers are looking for ways to reduce their alcohol consumption. And so this space in the middle, this divergence away from each other, nature going one way and drinks ultimately, and consumers going the other way. This is what we're here to solve, those two problems. How do we help you with the environmental issues and reduce alcohol of every wine, and also to kind of break into new markets with the best tasting low and no alcohol beverages through our technology? And what this means is, to us, is when you can reduce the alcohol content, especially in wine, that world of less alcohol equals the ability to sell and produce more wine, for consumers to have more time with each other. That's what people sit around and order a bottle of wine for. Nobody walks into a restaurant and orders a 13.7% alcohol drink. They go for the experience, they go for the flavor profile, and that's what we're here to do. Interestingly, the way that we look at this, we are not in the dealcoholization business. We're in the wine business. And I think that's what separates us as we develop our technology. This is not just a pure technology play. This is how do we give you the tools to enhance the core wine business. Nobody wants to drink a dealcoholized wine. Everybody wants to drink a fantastic tasting wine that has less alcohol. So, a little introduction to our team, because I think how we've approached this is special in the market. We have a multitude of diverse talents that have come together to solve this problem. It is not a simple problem to solve, as you know. And so we brought together some of the best winemakers and membrane scientists in the world to build our new technology. We have one of the world's leading experts in membrane and separation technology, Dr. Bo Pan, who is the Chief Innovation Officer of PAL Membranes in China. We have Joel Aitken, who was the head winemaker of BV Wines, which you may know out of Napa, and also the head winemaker for Diageo. We have sommeliers that are on staff working directly with our membrane scientists. You've just met Elisa, who's helping break into that market. We're looking at this problem holistically. How do we develop the technology to give you the tools to make the wines that you want to make, not just the wines that you can make with existing technologies? And I'm very happy to introduce right now Domingo Rodriguez, who will introduce himself. Domingo is our head of commercialization. He will be the person that you will be working with, hopefully, in the near future, bringing our technology to life after we've developed and launched it in the United States. We will be coming to Europe very shortly after that. Domingo, over to you.
Thanks, Richard. Gràcies, Richard. Hola i bon dia a tothom. És un plaer estar aquí amb vosaltres. Soc en Domingo Rodríguez, cap de comercialització a ALTR. Fa més de 2 dècades que treballo la intersecció entre el vi, la tecnologia i els mercats globals, ajudant cellers a incorporar noves eines que milloren la qualitat i responent a les noves expectatives dels consumidors. He tingut la sort de comercialitzar totes les tecnologies de desalcoholització utilitzades fins ara. I justament per això l'enfocament d'ALTR em va sorprendre tant. Les primeres mostres que vaig tastar van superar totes les meves expectatives i em van demostrar que flavor first, primer el sabor, no és un eslògan, sinó una realitat tècnica. El repte és el mateix arreu. Els consumidors volen moderació sense sacrificar qualitat. I els cellers volen formar part d'aquest moviment, però sense perdre essència ni identitat. La majoria de solucions veuen el vi com un producte més. ALTR capgira aquesta mirada i posa al centre l'aroma, l'estructura i, sobretot, l'autenticitat. La meva feina és fer que aquesta tecnologia arribi al mercat en confiança, acompanyant els cellers a l'adaptació, creant aliances i ajudant a obrir els camins al mercat. Jo diria que en el fons això no va només de tecnologia, va de llibertat. Llibertat per als enòlegs, per explorar nous estils, i llibertat per als consumidors per gaudir del vi de la seva manera. Si teniu preguntes o voleu saber més, estaré encantat d'escoltar-vos i compartir. Richard? Et torno la paraula. Back to you, Richard.
Thank you, Domingo. So now let's talk about, I think, kind of what you are all here to hear about, which is our technology. Our technology is the Velvet Blade. It is called the Velvet Blade because we've developed this to be as gentle and soft on your precious wines, but also as scientifically accurate in our extraction of the ethanol molecule. We call ourselves a precision flavor first alcohol reduction technology, precision and also premium, because we are focusing on the wines that people want to drink, the wines that you want to make, those fantastic, rich tasting beverages. And that's where we've focused. This is not just about mass market wines. This is about elevating and enhancing wines through the removal of alcohol. We call ourselves flavor first, importantly, because we've been trying to solve, I think, a different problem than the market has been trying to solve up until this point. We decided to focus on what's most important, the flavors, the aromas, and develop a technology that is designed around flavor retention rather than just alcohol removal. We retain all of the key components and then gently remove the alcohol molecule from that. Our process is a patent pending technology that's based on dialysis. We developed and chose this technology because dialysis is a technology that is used in the medical world. We trust it with our most precious liquid, second or only second to wine is only second to our blood. So it's very gentle on the liquid. It's very good at low molecular weight separation. And when paired with advanced nano level membrane material, we're able to focus on that retention of the flavors and aromas and the alcohol removal. Membranes have been developed specifically for the wine industry, really focusing on how the wine interacts with those membranes in a very specific way. And we'll talk a little bit more about that right now. So what our Velvet Blade is, ultimately, it is a large technology dial that allows you to choose whatever ABV you want in a wine, to let you and nature go to full fermentation, get all of the richness of those wines, and then choose. Do you want to take it all the way to zero? Do you want to do a mid-strength? Or do you just want to slice a little bit off the top because of rising temperatures? Our process is a dual-edged blade. We have our flavor shield, which is all about the retention of flavor aromas. We do this at room temperature, which, as you know, is very, very important to keep both the integrity of the wine and to reduce the damage on the flavor profile of the wine. We have our ethanol splitter, the second side of our blade. This targets just the ethanol molecule. We are 100% membrane-based technology, and we do this without water use. We believe that water is best used on the vines and for other uses than extracting out ethanol. So what we end up with once a wine has gone through our system is a reduced alcohol drink that has every component, every part of the flavor profile, every part of the aroma profile, and ultimately is as satisfying as a full strength drink. We obviously remove the alcohol, so some of that burn and bite will be reduced, but we actually think that is a good thing with consumer behaviors and consumer taste profiles. They are looking for a softer way to kind of consume beverages and without kind of the alcohol intenseness that has been told by the press and by the market that is bad for you. We believe that kind of drinking wine together with each other with great tasting beverages is great for you. So here's a little more detail on how the Velvet Blade works. We take an incoming wine. Ideally, this is a wine chosen and developed specifically to be dealcoholized, but we can also work with standard wines. That is what we're doing right now. I think the evolution of this industry is going to be starting with what we have today, but over time, year by year, I think we will all be developing the tools so that the inputs into the technologies are going to be created specifically for the outputs, because ultimately that's the only thing that matters. So again, a little bit more detail on our Velvet Blade. The two-sided blade, wine comes in, it is not heated, it is treated very gently, it goes through or across our flavor shield membrane, extracting out obviously the ethanol, so from the red liquid into the yellow liquid in this diagram. Water, a little bit, is allowed to come through. That's how we get the scale that we need for dialysis at an industrial scale. Ethanol, as you would obviously expect, comes through. And there are a few low molecular weight compounds that will come through. So a little bit of gallic acid, some very small tannins. But as you see here, our dual-sided blade is continuously pulling out the ethanol as it goes through the system. And most importantly, all of that original water from the wine that has made it through the flavor shield and any compound that does make it through is put back into the wine. So we are keeping all of the compounds that were in the original wine, all of the aroma molecules, because we're both gentle and rejective over the things that we want to keep in, and selective over the ethanol. So incoming full strength wine, depending on the settings of the system, you can choose very granularly exactly the ABV you want to come out the other side, leaving us with high grade ethanol as our output. So the key things here is we're gentle with the red liquid. There is limited pressure applied to it. There is no heat applied to it. We are very gentle, keeping all the bonds that exist within the wine. And then we are very selective over with the ethanol splitter of getting the ethanol out. So what does that lead to? What is our advantage here? What is the benefit to our technology? We think we've got exceptional taste. We can talk about that in a PowerPoint, but the only way to really know what it tastes like and prove that out is to taste it. You're going to taste some of that at the end of the day, and I'm excited to get your feedback. For us, we have developed this technology for wine. We've started our technology with a goal in place. A lot of the previous technologies were old technologies that were reapplied to the wine industry. So for membrane-based dealcoholization, people have been using sewage reclamation and water purification membranes. We didn't do that. We have designed our membranes to be rejective and selective at the same time, and made those choices around what they're rejective and selective to around the compounds within wine. We think we're going to open up things to make your life easier. That's the goal here, is to do this together. Technology isn't going to solve all of the problems on its own. This is a true collaboration between science, technology, the craft and art of winemaking, and then marketing as well. Because what comes out of our system is high quality wine, you can use winemaking techniques to create the flavor profile that you want. So you're not having to rebuild a wine with additives. You're actually getting a high quality wine that has low alcohol content, meaning your development of new products and new wines can be much faster. Obviously, the core of our technology is around high selectivity, but also low impact. And this is really important to us. And this has been core to our business since we started it. We're reduced energy because we are 100% membrane-based technology. We do this at low temperature. The wine itself is not exposed to any temperature increases at all. It really is kind of wine coming in, wine going out at the same temperature. Very, very important to both the integrity and the damage that can be caused by high temperatures or even raised temperatures. And again, zero water use. We do not use water to extract out the ethanol. The only water that we use is for cleaning the system in a clean-in-place system. So just a little bit more about kind of what we're focusing on. We are a startup. We are building our first pilot system right now. We're focusing across all three areas of the market opportunity, but this is a little bit more on kind of our timing. So our initial focus, again, is on premium wines. We also have focused very deeply on red wine. We decided to start with red wine because we know that's the hardest problem to solve. So we're starting from the hard problem. You will be tasting red wine later today. We're also doing whites and rosés, obviously. At our launch, we will be doing both wine slicing, so solving the problem of high ABV in the vineyards. But our kind of big focus is on mid-strength, that 10 to 4% ABV, opening up new markets for people who love wine, who want to drink more wine. That is the biggest consumer segment. So let's create products for the people that want this. The wine slicing and mid-strength will be launching in February in Napa. And then we'll be moving to zero proof in mid-2026. How are we actually working as a company? We have kind of two key offerings, our ALTR service through our ALTR hubs and our ALTR systems, which are systems that are available to winemakers. We, as I mentioned, our first pilot system is launching right now. We're installing it right now in the heart of Napa, on location at Matera Winery. We're turning on the machine in the beginning of January, and then we'll start working with customers in February of next year. With two types of customers, people like yourselves, wineries will be there processing the wines, reducing the alcohol, and then kind of new opportunities for new beverage products that are wine-based beverages. Our next size system, so we will be scaling up in the second half of 2026 to be able to do batches of around 6,000 gallons. And then shortly after that, we'll start our European trials with small trial size machines. So people like yourselves can get your hands on the technology, can start working with your wines, and then moving into production in 2027. Our machines will start becoming available for sale and rental in 2027. So what we're doing now, we're actually doing our ALTR beta program here in Napa. We're working with some of the best winemakers in the world, along with our internal team. So we're working with wineries such as Clos de Val here in Napa. And this beta program is really about kind of learning and exploring with you, developing our technology with the best winemakers, so that we can create the best wines in the world. So bring your craft and brand to create less alcohol products and our technology. And ultimately, the key goal is exceptional wine. So we're focused on US winemakers for the next few months, but we're starting to kind of build relationships with international wineries. But the processing will definitely happen in Napa for the next 6 months. So that's a little bit about us. And I think that, as I said, the proof is in the pudding. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the wine that you're going to taste after these presentations. You're going to taste a process that we have basically taken wine that is completely finished, that we purchased in a store. So this is not custom wine that's been designed for the system. This has not been optimized for our system. These were bottles of wine that we purchased in a store. It is a Beringer Knights Valley 2021 Napa Cabernet. So you will have to put your American hats on as you taste this. This is not a European wine. It is definitely a Napa Cab. We took that wine, we opened it, we passed it through our system, reduced it down to 4%, and then blended back up to 7.5%. So you're going to taste some wines that have been taken down by 50%. And it should give you an experience of the aroma retention, the flavor retention, the mouthfeel retention, the very, very good color retention that we have in our wine. So we're very, very excited to hear your feedback. That is what we are here for, is all about collaborating with partners like yourself to make this industry and to make this market as big and high quality as we possibly can. So thank you so much for your time today. We want everybody to have another, because we all want to sell more wine, have more time with each other, and have great experiences that you want to keep coming back to. That's our goal, is we want you to want to buy another bottle, to want to produce another bottle, and want to be able to share another moment with your friends around a bottle of wine. Thank you very, very much. If you would like to get in touch, a version of this presentation will be shared out with you. Please feel free to reach out to any of us directly. Here are our email addresses, and we are more than happy to take you into a more detailed explanation of the technology and open up the ability to kind of try a couple of cases of your wine. So thank you very much. It's an honor to be part of this, and I hope the rest of your day is fantastic out there. Take care. Bye-bye.